In this second video, we continue on with some teaching strategies when working with students who have autism. One point that I want to make is that an estimated 3.5 million individuals in the US alone have autism spectrum disorder. And it's considered one of the fastest growing developmental disabilities. And that is actually put out by Autism Society of America in 2019. And another crazy fact is that ASD disorders are among the least understood and most mysterious disabilities in the whole special education realm. And I think it's just because there's such a wide spectrum of them, and not any individual is the same. But when working with students who have ASD, it is amazing the differences across the board of students who have that. On this slide, we're going to talk about ABA, is what you will oftentimes hear it referred to, which is applied behavior analysis. And what happens with ABA is that it's a behavioral strategy that is put forth to teach students skills in systematic ways. It's very similar to the task analysis that you had created for your friend to complete within class. There's just different terms. And so it's very similar to that, but it's very planned out. And one of the big things that they talk about is discrete trial training. And this particular strategy is as old as teaching and actually has been done before teaching was even a thing. So what happens in discrete trial training is that there is a problem that is presented. The student either succeeds or fails. Obviously, that's kind of our choices no matter what. Either get something right or you get something wrong. The teacher instantly responds, and then a student learns a fact, concept, or skill. Many strategies, you're taught to go big first and then wean off, and that's the same thing as in discrete trial training. You present a problem, and you almost instantly respond to try to get kids to hear the correct term so that they're going down the right path. Oftentimes, though, that they might not give you the correct term, but still they're able to work through different teaching strategies. Tyus, I'm teaching. Okay. So applied behavior analysis is a strategy that teachers use with students who have ASD. Michelle Garcia Winner is a wonderful human being, and I call her the guru of ASD. She is a certified SLP, which is a speech and language pathologist. But why I say that she is the guru of autism is because she has created this website and this group called Social Thinking, and she does a phenomenal job of completing social stories and putting out curriculum for students to use who have ASD, nonverbal learning challenges, and students get it. And they're so important. These strategies that she talks about and teaches, they're so important because they're age-based. So she has different curriculum for the young kids. She has teen and tween strategies, is what she calls them. But she truly is phenomenal. And I would suggest to you to go check out Social Thinking by Michelle Garcia Winner. Go online and just research her a little bit. She is a phenomenal person. And if you ever get the chance sometime in your teaching career to go to one of her webinars, to sit in on one of her webinars or go to a conference that she is at, you will be amazed at the amount of information that she has. Just amazing to me. And that's why I believe she's the guru of students who have ASD. Social stories are so important, and there's so many different assistive technology tools out there for social stories. One of my favorite that I use with students is I actually put them in their own social stories. So if you Google social stories, there's tons out there, and it walks kids through different scenarios that might happen. Maybe you're walking to gym class and somebody pushes you, and instead of blowing up at them or screaming at them, you walk them through the correct form of responding to that story that's going on. Oftentimes what you will notice when you're working with students who have ASD is they have that answer for you, and they know exactly what the answer to that social story is, but they have a hard time taking it from that story and putting it into real life. So what I used to like to do is I used to like to take pictures of my kids performing the tasks in a way that they could see themselves completing the social story. And when we first would start, if the student is in a wheelchair or is, something extreme like that, you would just take a picture of them so that they could see their face, so that they could make a connection. And it's all about making connections with students so that they pick up on key concepts that you're trying to teach. So like I said, go out, research Michelle Garcia Winner. She is absolutely phenomenal. This activity, I am so sad that we don't get to be in class. This picture over here, actually, right here, this one that I just highlighted, I have blank copies of this particular My Expected and Unexpected Behavior sheet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload that to the LMS just for your teacher tools going down the road of education. Someday you will want to have this tool with you, especially for those of you that are teaching the younger grades, but you can also use it for older kids too. So one thing that I like is that when you work with students in general, but students who have ASD or who have exceptionalities, using common terminology with them is very important and key. And I really like expected and unexpected behavior rather than good or bad behavior. What is expected of you and what is unexpected of you? And one thing that I personally did, and going back to Michelle Garcia Winner, you can actually buy posters that she has created off of her website. But I took it and did a little spin on it, right? Because we as teachers, we don't always want to recreate the wheel that's already been out there for us. But what I posted in my special ed classroom was an expected behavior chart and an unexpected behavior chart. And I had the kids help me write it. So we just talked about what are some unexpected behaviors that might be seen. A student laying their head on the desk might be unexpected. A student snapping pencils through the instruction might be unexpected. A student interrupting might be unexpected. A student constantly kicking somebody's chair in front of you might be unexpected. And the list can go on and on and on. So that is something that is really cool to have in your classroom. And then you also want to list what is expected. Okay. So when the teacher is talking, your hands are in your lap. When you're given an assignment, it's expected that you put your name on it right away. And using that terminology, expected and unexpected, sometimes it's all you have to say while you're instructing. It's a great form of classroom management. So you don't even have to call kids out, right? Because we've been told not to do that. And if you haven't, you will eventually in your classes. But calling kids out never helps their behavior. But all you have to say is that one word, just say unexpected. And kids are like, oh, who's doing something that she doesn't like right now? And if the kid is doing the unexpected behavior, they oftentimes will know and they'll instantly stop. And yes, I just snapped my fingers. They will instantly stop because they don't want anybody to notice what they're doing. So having that terminology is really key. And like I said, it doesn't only just help students who have ASD, but also those students just in general who struggle with classroom rules. What's expected, what's unexpected. One thing that I would like you to think about, and what we would do normally in class, is I would have you think about something personal that you might do that's unexpected to somebody else. And it's really funny. This was this activity I've done before, and kids are like, do I do anything that's unexpected? And people start to see that they sometimes do. And then how you would change that unexpected behavior. So what would you rather do? And it's all about that applied behavior analysis and changing the behavior, right? What is the function of my behavior? Why is it unexpected? And how can I get it to be a behavior that is expected in whatever circumstance it might be? So just think a little bit about that as you're going forward. Like I said, I will upload this chart right here onto the LMS so that you have that extra copy. If I somehow forget, I'm going to try to go do that right now. But if I forget, please send me an email. Just say, hey, can you upload that to the resource page? I would really like to have that. The very last slide within this presentation on autism spectrum disorder, these are just some different resources that are out there, and they are wonderful. They are not only wonderful for you, they are wonderful for families. You will be the person who families will oftentimes reach out to because they don't know where else to go. And these 4 different resources are phenomenal to have, specifically when working with students who have ASD. Now, there is a debate that, and I'm sure some of you have heard it before, and I wish I could see all your responses now, but there is a debate, and there's people who believe that vaccines truly have an impact on students who are diagnosed with ASD. My push to you, that you can do a little background digging, is there was a doctor who put out a study saying that he had found that kids who were getting vaccines and certain vaccines were ending up being diagnosed with ASD. And this was not the case. It was not the case at all, actually. He had kind of made this up, and he actually lost his degree because he put out a study that was false. There were a few findings of it, but the overall general study was not. So do a little bit of research into that. It's phenomenal. There's so much out there in regards to ASD and students who have ASD. It's amazing. One thing that I want you to know going forward is that when you're working with a student who has ASD, who is on the spectrum themselves, it can be like riding a roller coaster, okay? And sometimes you're on that roller coaster without something strapping you in like a seatbelt. You're not sure what will be around the next corner, if the next bump might dump you out of the car, if you're going to go around the corner too fast. No 2 children who have ASD are the same, and the needs are constantly changing. Sometimes it's daily, sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it can even be to the minute and or second. Know that if you strive to meet the needs, which could be sensory, it could be anxiety-based, it could be food-based, and you provide an education to students, you will see growth in them, and they will appreciate that. Include them as much as you possibly can within your own classroom setting, and work so very closely with those special education teachers. They want to be on your side. They are our children, not your children or my child, but ours as an education staff together. And like I said, these individuals are some of the most amazing individuals that you will ever meet, and each one of them has kind of their own little quirk. Dylan, who was one of my favorite students I ever got to work with, he was fascinated with sports, absolutely fascinated. And it was just amazing to hear how much he knew and he could remember about sports. I had a 3rd grade student who was fascinated by farm equipment and combines, and he knew everything about a combine. He could probably put one together if you asked him to. If you just had a whole bunch of pieces set out and said, hey, this is a combine, told him what model it was, he probably could put it together. Students who have ASD are truly remarkable and who are amazing. So don't be afraid of a student who has ASD. ASD is not something to be afraid of. If you hear of a student coming into your classroom who has it, there's so much out there for you to do to help include them within your classroom setting. Do the best that you can, and I know that you all are going to rock it and be the best that you can. Please reach out. Look at Michelle Garcia Winner. She is the guru of autism in my language. That's Jamie Jewell's own language, saying that she's the guru, but her websites are absolutely phenomenal. And then check these 4 out too as you're exploring. Don't forget to go online after you view this and do your forum post. Take care, and we will talk with you soon.